They realized even those small everyday toxins, they could be adding up, impacting our health in ways we don't even realize.
It's like the little things you don't think about.
Exactly. Dan, he spent years researching, diving deep into public health challenges, things like mercury from fillings, even gadolinium toxicity. Have you heard of that?
Gadolinium toxicity? No, but it sounds kind of scary.
It's from the contrast they use in MRIs, actually. Hey there. So glad you joined the Afterburn today. I'm Jake Carter, and as always, I'm here with Ava Morgan. We are diving into Kyle Goodnight's interview with Dan Root on the Ignition Path podcast. Dan shares his incredible journey from tech to detox coaching and ended up helping first responders after 9/11. Kyle does an awesome job digging into how the program is changing lives. Stick around, we've got a lot to unpack.
All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into detox.
Detox.
Yeah, detox, but not the kind you're thinking of.
Right.
It's not about juice cleanses or any of that.
Uh-huh.
This is a whole different ball game.
Interesting.
Yeah, this program, it's got science behind it, entrepreneurial spirit, even a touch of, like, Hollywood intrigue. You'll see what I mean.
Wow, okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So,
This is a detox program.
yes. But the roots, right, they're not what you'd expect. It all started with occupational medicine, like dealing with serious, heavy-duty chemical exposure in workplaces.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have put those two together.
See, and that's what I love. So unexpected, right? Our guest, Dan, he actually started in the tech world, but life had other plans. Total 180.
Yeah.
Because of his dad. Now, his dad just happens to be a retired Air Force physician.
Okay.
But not just any physician. This guy specialized in occupational medicine. It's like a family business, but way more intense.
Wow, that's a story.
Right. It's all connected.
Yeah.
That's what makes this detox program so unique. You've got Dan with the tech background, his dad, the doctor, even his wife's own health journey plays into it.
It all comes together.
Exactly. It creates this whole new perspective on detoxification, you know?
So how did it actually start?
Well, rewind back to the beginning, right?
Right.
It all began as a protocol, but for drug addiction rehab. Dan's dad was working with that,
Okay.
but he saw something more. He realized this protocol, it could be huge for people battling all kinds of chemical exposures. We're talking heavy metals, the works.
That's a big jump.
It is. And here's the thing. Dan's dad, he wasn't just some guy with a hunch.
Okay.
He was a researcher through and through, always analyzing, testing, refining. This wasn't just throwing spaghetti at the wall hoping it sticks. It was about understanding the science behind detox, how to make it really work.
Gotcha. So did it work?
Oh, it worked. And then some.
Yeah.
Dan himself, he went through the program back in the 80s. The results he describes, mind-blowing, honestly.
What happened?
Okay, ready for this. He's talking about a 10-point jump in his IQ.
What?
Yeah, IQ. Crazy, vivid dreams, even his sense of smell and taste heightened. Like, can you imagine?
That's incredible.
Right, makes you think.
It does. We talk a lot about gut health these days.
Oh, yeah.
Important, of course. But what about everything else? The toxins we're exposed to every day, everywhere.
Exactly.
It's like this whole other side of health we don't always think about.
And that's what this program tackles head on. The toxic load we carry, all that stuff from the environment. It's a big deal.
It is. And it sounds like they were onto something big even back then.
Yeah, they were ahead of their time, for sure.
But there was a catch with this program.
Oh, yeah? What's the catch?
It was a serious time commitment.
Okay.
We're talking like 4.5 to 5 hours a day
Wow.
for like a month.
Okay, so not exactly like a quick fix.
No, not at all. Not something you could just squeeze into your day.
Right. So how do you even make that work for most people?
That's where Dan's entrepreneurial spirit really kicks in.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
He knew this program, it could help so many people.
Yeah.
But that time commitment, it was a huge barrier.
Yeah, for sure.
So he's like, all right, how do we solve this?
Yeah.
Him and his dad, they put their heads together.
This is where the family business gets even more interesting, I bet.
Right. With his dad's knowledge, all about the body's natural defenses, biological, chemical, the whole 9 yards, they started looking for ways to make this detox program, more user-friendly.
More accessible.
Totally. Make it something anyone could benefit from, not just people with, like, really severe exposure.
So they were thinking bigger picture.
Exactly. They realized even those small, everyday toxins, they could be adding up, impacting our health in ways we don't even realize.
It's like the little things you don't think about.
Exactly. Dan, he spent years researching, diving deep into public health challenges, things like mercury from fillings, even gadolinium toxicity. Have you heard of that?
Gadolinium toxicity. No, but it sounds kind of scary.
It's from the contrast they use in MRIs, actually. But that's a whole other topic.
Okay, we'll save that for another deep dive.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But the point is, they were looking at all of it.
So how do they know this program could actually help with all these different things? I mean, we're talking about a lot of different things here.
Oh, it wasn't just a shot in the dark. They were seeing real results, even reversing some pretty serious conditions.
Like what? Give me an example.
Things like heart disease, diabetes, even some cancers.
Whoa.
These are those non-communicable diseases, chronic stuff that's not contagious but affects a ton of people.
Right, right.
And here's the thing. A lot of these, they have no known cause, at least not according to conventional medicine.
Interesting.
But when you bring toxins into the picture, it starts to make sense.
Okay, so you're saying there's a link between these chronic conditions and the toxins we're exposed to, and this program can help with that.
That's what they found, yeah. And they had the studies to back it up.
Hold on, this wasn't just anecdotal.
Oh, no, they were serious about the science. Over 15 published studies on PubMed. That's like the gold standard for medical research.
Right, of course. PubMed.
And it gets even better. The California Medical Board.
Okay, they're tough.
They are. They actually challenged the program at first.
I can imagine. So what happened?
They reviewed everything, the research, the results, the whole 9 yards. And guess what? They ended up endorsing the program.
Wow, that's a huge deal.
Right. It's not every day the California Medical Board gives you the thumbs up, especially when you're doing something outside the box like this.
So we've got the science, the results, the medical board's backing. It's pretty impressive.
It is, definitely. But this story, it's also got a huge heart to it. Remember 9/11?
Of course, yeah.
All those first responders at Ground Zero, they were exposed to a crazy amount of toxins.
Oh, yeah. I can only imagine.
Dan's program, it actually helped over 5,000 of those first responders.
5,000! That's incredible.
They were able to get grants and donations to make sure those heroes got the help they needed.
That's amazing. Do we know, how effective the program was for them? I mean, those exposures were no joke.
Yeah, there was a study that followed a group of about 2,200 people who went through the program.
Okay, and what did they find?
Only 3 of them out of 2,200 had passed away.
That's it?
Yeah, compared to an average of 1.2 deaths per day in the general population.
Wow. Okay, so that's a pretty stark difference.
Right. It really highlights just how important this kind of detox can be, especially after something as traumatic as 9/11.
For sure. I mean, it makes you wonder how many people are walking around with these hidden toxic burdens, without even realizing it.
Right. It really makes you think, how many health issues are actually linked to these toxins, things people wouldn't even realize.
That's this hidden factor, right?
Yeah.
But here's what's so cool, especially if you're the kind of person who likes a challenge. Dan, he didn't just create this program. He wanted to share it, really share it. He's all about empowering others to use this.
I love that.
It's a whole entrepreneurial thing.
It's like that ripple effect, spreading the knowledge, helping people take charge of their health. He's written the book, even trademarked detoxification. There's a whole training program. Anyone can learn this.
Wait, really? Anyone? You don't need to be a doctor or anything?
Nope. Dan's all about accessibility. He wants people passionate about health, veterans, first responders, anyone really, if they want to make a difference.
That's awesome. Okay, so break it down for me. What's this training like? It's more than just sauna time, right?
Yeah, it's way more than that. He gets into the nitty-gritty, the how and the why. He explains the science, like how niacin actually works to get those toxins moving, the benefits of sauna therapy. Plus, it's personalized. It's not one size fits all.
Makes sense. Everyone's different.
Exactly. He wants people to understand what they're doing, not just going through the motions.
So it's about being proactive with your health, then helping others do the same.
Yeah. And what's really interesting? It's not just physical. Dan talks about mental clarity, a sense of well-being, even those vivid dreams after doing the program himself.
Wow, I never thought about that.
Right. But it makes sense, right? Our minds and bodies are connected.
Totally. So much of what we struggle with, brain fog, fatigue, it could all be tied back to this toxin buildup.
It really could be.
Yeah.
And the more we learn about environmental toxins, the more important it becomes to deal with them.
Absolutely.
And Dan's program, it's a real solution, backed by science, and he really wants to help people.
It's like a detox revolution.
I love that.
So for our listeners who are like, okay, I'm in, tell me more, where can they find Dan, learn about the program, maybe even start their own detox journey?
Everything's on his website. His
Yeah.
website address redacted. He's got info about the book, the training, testimonials from people who've had their lives changed by this. If you're ready to take control of your health, it's a great place to start.
Perfect. We'll link it in the show notes too. All right, that's it for today's review on the Afterburn. Thanks for joining us as we broke down another awesome episode of the Ignition Path podcast. If you haven't listened to it yet, make sure to check it out. Kyle always brings something new to the table, and we're here to make sure you don't miss a beat.
For sure. And don't forget, each week we're here to give you the straight talk on these episodes, pulling out what really matters for your entrepreneurial journey. See you next time, and keep igniting your path to success.